Hello, second grade. My name is Miss Lucklider. If you are not from my homeroom class, I am one of the second grade teachers, and I'm going to be giving you your math lesson today. And what we are going to be learning and practicing are two addition and subtraction strategies called doubling and halving. And I don't mean halving like having a piece of chocolate cake, unfortunately. I mean halving, like taking a number and cutting it in half. So creating half of a number or of an amount, okay? And again, doubling and halving are two strategies that are really good to have in your back pocket to help you add and subtract. And the way that we are going to be practicing those strategies today are with our handy dandy number rack, which I know you don't have one of these at your house most likely, but what I've given you, and it's attached to this lesson, is a link to a virtual number rack that you can use. So if you want to pause this video and take a second and open up a separate tab to open that virtual number rack, then as you're watching this lesson, you can use that virtual number rack and do what I'm doing on my number rack to follow along with me. So if you want to take a second and pause this to get that set up, do that now. But we're going to use our virtual number rack or our in-person number rack. And our fingers, which I know that you have at your house. You've got all your fingers. So we're going to be using fingers and number rack to practice these two strategies today. And I know that I can't actually see you, and I know that you can't actually answer any questions that I might ask you, but I do want to ask that if I ask you to think about something or show me something on your fingers or on your virtual number rack, that you're doing it, because the more that you are practicing what we're doing, the more you're going to understand it, and it's also going to prepare you for your 1:30 meeting with your homeroom teacher, because you're going to be practicing this skill there, and another skill that is very similar to this one, and you'll need to know how to do this in order to do the next thing, okay? So if I ask you to show me something on your fingers or to think about a question, I definitely want to make sure that you're doing it at your house and following along with me, because that's really going to help you out, okay? So let's get ready to listen. Up nice and tall on your bottom, listening ears on and turned all the way up, ready to do your best. So to get started, I want you to think, if I asked you to show me 7 on your fingers, what might you do? Show me right now. I know I can't see you, but show me what you would do to show me 7 on your fingers. So maybe you did 5 on one hand and 2 on another hand. I chose to do 5 on my left hand and 2 on my right hand. Could I flip-flop them? Sure could. I could do 5 over here and 2 over here, because we know that when we have an addition equation, we can flip-flop the 2 parts as long as the total is the same. So we could do 5 on one hand and 2 on the other hand. Maybe you did 4 on one hand and 3 on the other hand, because 4 plus 3 is also 7. Okay? What if I asked you to show me 9 on your fingers? What would you do? So you probably did 5 on one hand and 4 on the other hand. I think that maybe would be all you could do here. So 5 on one hand, 4 on the other hand, and again, we could flip-flop them if we wanted to. What about the number 6? How would you show me 6? So maybe you did 4 on one hand and 2 on the other hand. 4 plus 2 is 6. Or maybe you did 3 and 3. And created a doubles fact, because you know 3 plus 3 is 6. That's probably what I would have done, okay? Now, what about the number 4? If I asked you to show me 4, what do you think you would do? It's a few different ways you could show 4 with 2 hands. Now let me ask you this. Knowing that I'm gonna have 4 fingers up all together, how many fingers are behind my back on my left hand? How many fingers are behind my back on my right hand? Did you say 2 for both of those? Hopefully you did, because 2 plus 2 is 4. That's another doubles fact, okay? So if you knew that I had 2 fingers up that you could see, and there were 4 fingers all together, hopefully you knew that that meant that there were 2 behind my back, because 2 plus 2 more would equal 4. It's kind of like our children on the train in the muddy windows activity that we did, where you had to use what you knew about the equation and the total to figure out what you couldn't see. Okay, and so that goes back to a doubles fact, because you know that 2 plus another 2 equals 4. Now, I want you to take the lead on this one, and I want you to show me the number that would be this number doubled. I want you to hold up 4 fingers and then double it on your other hand. What would this number be doubled on your other hand? Did you hold up 4 more fingers? If you did, give yourself a round of applause because you just doubled the number 4. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what it means to actually double a number. What are we doing when I say double this number? Well, it's kind of like making 2 of something. So if I have 4 on this hand and I say double it, then I want another 4. If I had 5 on this hand and I said double it, I would want another 5. 2 5s, 2 4s, 2 3s, something like that. Okay, so it would be doubling or making 2 of the number that you already have. Or you might also think of it as being twice as much. So again, if I have 4 on this hand and I doubled it, I now have twice as much because 8 is twice as much as 4. Okay, so it's like 4 plus 4. All right? You can think of it being like the same number twice. 4 plus 4, 5 plus 5, 1 plus 1. So think of it in those 3 ways, making 2 of something, it being twice as much, or having that same number twice, so that same number both times. Now we're going to get out our number racks to practice this. And again, I have my in-person number rack. If you want to follow along with what I am doing, you can pull up your virtual number rack, okay? And I want you, if you have your number rack up, to show me any number that would be a doubles fact, that you think would be a doubles fact. And I'll give you an example to get started. So an example of a doubles fact might be 2 on top and 2 on bottom. And this is a doubles fact because 2 plus 2 is 4, and it's doubled because I have the same number twice. Okay, it's the same number twice. I've made 2 of something, 2 2s, and it's like I have twice as much now because 4 is 2 times more than 2, okay? So that would be an example of a doubles fact. See if you can make another doubles fact on your virtual number rack, if you have that pulled up. Take just a second to do that. I wish I could see all of your great number facts or your doubles facts. While you do that, I will get my number rack set back up because we're going to do some practice ones together. So maybe for your doubles fact that you made, you might have done 4 and 4 possibly. This is a doubles fact because again, I have 2 of the same number, 4 and 4. I've doubled it. I have twice the amount that I had on the top now as I do on the bottom. 4 and 4, same number twice. I might have done, or you might have done 10 plus 10. That's a doubles fact because it's the same amount on top and bottom. It's the same number twice. I've doubled it. I've done 2 times more than that. 2 of something. Very good. You might have done 5 and 5. 5 plus 5 is a doubles fact because it's the same number twice. It's making 2 of 5. 5 plus 5. What about 6 plus 6? That would be a doubles fact too. 6 and 6, 2 of the same number. Maybe you did 8 plus 8. That's a doubles fact too. 2 of the same number. So any of those would do fine. If you had the same number on top as you did on the bottom, that would be an example of a doubles fact and doubling an amount. So again, if you had, let's say 3 plus 3, and I said or if you had 3 on top and I said double that, that would mean that I would need to put 3 more on the bottom because if I started with 3 and I needed to double it, I would need to have 2 of these. So 1, 2, 3 plus 3. All right? Now here's where it can get a little tricky though, so pay very close attention to this part here. What if I had this shown on my number rack? First of all, take a second. How much am I showing here on my number rack? What number is this? Did you say 16? If you did, you're correct because I have 10 on the top and 6 on the bottom, okay? Now, I want you to ask yourself, is this showing a doubles fact? My total is 16. Is this showing a doubles fact? What do you think? This number is not showing a doubles, well, this number can be a doubles fact, but what I'm showing you here is not a doubles fact because I have 10 and 6. That's not 2 of the same number. That's not twice of a number. That's 10 plus 6. Remember, doubling something means it's 2 of the same number or twice that amount, okay? Now, I could show 16 as a doubles fact. Think for a second, how could I show 16 as a doubles fact without having 10 and 6? Who knows their doubles facts? What could I do? And if you're not sure, here's where the halving part comes in, because what would be half of 16? If I were to have 16 cookies and I split those 16 cookies with my friend and we each got the same amount, how many would each of us have? Because if we split this and this is what it looked like, one of us would have 10 and one of us would have 6. And is that fair? No way. I want to be the one that has 10. But someone's going to have to get the 6, and that's not fair. So how could we evenly split the number 16 so that I and my friend had the same amount of cookies? Hopefully, maybe, you thought of 8 plus 8. Let's see if I can fix it and show that on my number rack. And again, if you have your virtual number rack open, I want you to do it along with me. So if I had 8 up here and 8 down here, first of all, is it the same amount on top and bottom? Is it the same number twice? Yes, it is. So it's a doubles fact, 8 plus 8. And is it still 16? So I see all 10 of my white beads, so 10 plus 3, which is 6. So 10 plus 6 is 16. So I'm still showing 16. I still have the same amount as I did before, but now it's a doubles fact because it's the same number twice. I have created 2 of the same number, 8 plus another 8, 2 8s. And it's all 16, except for the difference now is if these are cookies, I can have 8 and my friend can have 8 because we can each have the same amount. All right, so we split that number in half. That's where the halving comes in, okay? Now, on your virtual rack, and I'll show it on mine too, I want you to show me 6 using 2 equal sets of beads. Show me 6 using 2 equal sets of beads, meaning that it's the same on top as it is on the bottom. So show me 6 as a doubles fact. Is this doing what I've asked? Is this showing 6 as equal sets of beads? Is this a doubles fact? No way, Jose. Hopefully you said no. Why is this not a doubles fact? I can't hear you, but tell me out loud. Why is this not a doubles fact? This is not a doubles fact because even though I'm showing 6, 4 plus 2 is 6, would it be fair if I got 4 cookies and my friend got 2? No, I get 2 more whole cookies than my friend. That's great for me, but bad for my friend, right? That's not fair. So how can we make it fair? What would be an equal way to show 6? 3 plus 3. Oops. And now I get 3 cookies and my friend gets 3 cookies and I'm still showing 6. This is our doubles fact because it's 2 of the same number. I have doubled the number 3. 1, 2 sets of 3 to equal 6. Awesome possum. Let's do a couple more of these. All right. What about the number 10? How would I show 10 in equal sets? So again, I could show 10 this way, 6 plus 4, But that's not a doubles fact. 6 cookies for me and 4 cookies for my friend is not fair. So again, here's where the halving comes in. What would half of 10 be? Because if I'm showing 10 all together as my total, and I need to have an equal amount for me and my friend, then what would be half of 10 so that I can show that much on top and that much on top and that much on the bottom? I'm getting tongue-tied. What would I do? What would half of 10 be so that I get the same amount as my friend? Take this one away to have 5. And have 5 on the bottom. So now I still have 10, but now it's a doubles fact and now it's equal. I get 5 and my friend gets 5 because 5 is half of 10. So I have not only doubled 5 to get 10, but I also halved 10 in order to figure out how many would be on top and how many would be on bottom. Let's do one more together. Let's do a bigger one. Let's do the number 18. What a doozy. 18. So I know right off the bat that I could do 10 and 8. 10 plus 8 is 18, but again, is this a doubles fact? No, it's not a doubles fact. Because again, if I had 10 cookies and my friend got 8 cookies, is that fair? No way, Jose, not fair at all. Good for me, bad for my friend. So we want it to be equal and fair. So what would half of 18 be? How many cookies would I get and how many cookies would my friend get for it to be fair and equal? What would half of 18 be? So that there's the same amount on top as there is on the bottom. If you're not sure, you can kind of start moving the beads over and play with it a little bit because this number's a little bigger, so it might be a little harder to do in your head. So here's a doubles fact here. 5 plus 5 is 10. That's not enough though. Remember, we need 18. So what if I do 2 more on top and bottom? Well, now I have 14. That's still not enough. I need 18. So what if I add 2 more? Do I have 18 now? Sure do, because oh wait. No, I don't have 16. Silly Miss Looklighter. Let's try again. Let's add 2 more. Sorry guys, it's been a long day. All right. Now do I have 18? Sure do. Hopefully you caught my mistake a second ago before I even said anything. This is 18, and this is an example of doubling in order to get 18. Yes, in order to get 18. Because I have 9 on top, and I doubled it in order to now have 18 because 9 plus 9 is 18. And then I also halved because I thought, well, what would half of 18 be? Because that would make it 2 equal sets. And half of 18 is 9, okay? So doubling and halving kind of work together in order to help us solve equations like this, okay? All right, very good. We are gonna stop there for today, my friends, but know that at 1:30 for your meeting with your homeroom teacher, you are going to be continuing practicing this skill, and actually you're going to be adding to that by learning about a strategy called doubling plus or minus 1. So if you know how to double a number, then it's going to be easy peasy lemon squeezy during your 1:30 meeting to add or minus 1 to that, okay? So if you need to rewatch this lesson to practice, please watch it as many times as you need to, and keep that number rack handy because you might be using it during your meeting today with your homeroom teacher, okay? But that is an introduction to doubling and halving, and hopefully all of that makes sense, and if not, again, rewatch this as many times as you need to practice.